What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Breaking Boundaries. What's going on, dude?
What up, bro?
What's going down?
I was saying about, you know what I like about this podcast now is like when we first started, everything was like, oh, we got to come up with topics and like, it was so stressful to get an episode going. We were, we didn't know what we were doing. And now it's like, it's so chill and laid back, dude. Like, just like dope conversations that just, spur off the top of our heads. And like it's just chill, dude. It's badass. Like when I'm editing, I listen to what we're saying and it's like we really have that podcast vibe now. You know what I mean? Yeah. I like that about it. Fucking, like, I like watching our shit, bro.
I know, dude. I was just watching the last episode that you put on, dude. It was pretty good. I'm about halfway through it, but yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, you were all sick in that episode.
Yeah, I know. I'm so grateful not to be sick anymore, dude.
Yeah,
I was just
bro.
thinking that before we started.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking, I had to edit out a bunch of like...
Yeah.
And I still didn't get them all.
Yeah, I know. I seen a couple of them.
Fucking, what is up with my mic, bro? Can you hear me?
Dude, mine's so loud.
Is it?
Dude, yeah. That's why I had to take the ear because it's so loud.
Is it? Let me see if I can fix that. Pause. Technical difficulty. All right. Minor technical difficulty. Sorry, guys. We are back.
How do you hear mine?
You sound good to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's been a day, bro. It started raining on me while I was driving today.
You just have bad luck.
Every time I'm coming to your house for some reason.
Dude, you just have bad luck. Bro, I know this guy, dude, that all his life, every time he would come out of the house, every day a bird would shit on him.
What the fuck?
Yeah, bro. I don't know now. I haven't seen him in probably 10 years, but it was like a bird would shit on him every day, bro.
Like literally every day?
Yeah, literally. And I believe probably that he would manifest that because he was so used to it happening and he would manifest a bird shitting on him every
like
day.
if it didn't happen, it wasn't
that would
right.
suck. That'd be like, I mean, even if you're having a good day and then a bird just shits on you, bro, you're like,
no
fuck,
shit,
again?
Dude, no shit.
Yeah, it's a true story, dude.
You think that happens? Like you get so used to bad shit happening, like you just manifest that shit into your life.
100%, bro. 100%. I believe, a bird probably shitted on him, a few times. And then he was like, oh, it always fucking happens to me. And then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's true, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I think he completely manifested that in his life.
Like, I guess maybe that's why like people live like with just negativity in their life, like all the time and just like constantly like fucking just are not enjoying life. Like everything in life is bad, right? Because like if shit's not going wrong, they don't feel it's right. So they're constantly just like fucking manifesting negativity into their lives just because they expect it every day.
But I understand it, dude, because it's so hard to get out of that. And especially when you don't have the knowledge that we have.
Yeah.
You're not aware of it.
Yeah.
And you just think that's how, so I get it though, dude. Like it's hard to get out of because I've even had these situations lately where I'm like, fuck, how do I, cause it just keeps coming, dude. So it's just lack of knowledge about it that people don't know, man.
Right.
It's crazy, dude. Oh, so today, man, I never go on Facebook, but I go on Facebook and I see this dude, a friend of mine died, bro. And dude, people call me all the time. So-and-so died. People I've known my whole life. I'm like, what? I don't go to the funeral, dude, unless we were like close, But this dude, this pissed me off, bro. Tell you why it pissed me off, dude. He's a good dude, good-hearted dude, man. And, we would talk in the beginning of my journey, I'm talking to everybody about what I'm doing, about eating right and about being healthy and this or that, and constantly talking to him about it, and he'd listen to it. We work together, man. And he's constantly eating like shit, dude, fast food, smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol. And I'm constantly telling, and he would fucking, and he has this 18-year-old daughter that's like getting in trouble and this, that. And he would call me all the time when he's fucked up. He's like, Carlo, like, help me. Like, And I'm like, dude, you got to do it yourself, bro. Like, I can't. And he's like, no, just do it for me. I'm like, I can't. And he would call me like begging me, you know, and it's like, dude, I've given you the tools, bro. Like, there's nothing else I can do, you know? And it fucking pissed me off, dude, because, and I'm fucking pissed, bro, because fuck, man, life's important, dude. You know, and what comes down to it is that people don't care about their lives enough.
Yeah.
They don't have enough self-worth, man. You know?
Yeah.
And at the same time, and I know we talk about all these feelings and all this shit, dude, but you know what? Man the fuck up, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, dude? If you got, you know, and people think I'm joking about eating like shit all the time and putting shitty shit into your body and shit, and then you fucking die for what? You could have this fucking amazing life, dude.
Yeah. And
some people if you're on fucking drugs or drinking or eating or whatever it is, dude, man the fuck up. Especially if people depend on you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, man the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you got to just man the fuck up because you know what you're doing is wrong. Because, you know, especially if you're a man and you are responsible for people and you have fucking children and you have people that depend on you, stop being so selfish, dude.
Yeah.
Stop being so fucking selfish with the wah-wahs and the wah-wahs and the fucking this and that, dude. Soldier the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a big believer of that mindset. Like, yes, I talk about meditation and I talk about, you know, I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, men can never have emotions. And I'm, you know, I understand like, you know, people are human and we're all going to feel certain things. But overall, as a man, like, be a fucking man. Like, yeah, I'm a big believer that like men are supposed to be strong. You're going to have those times in life that are difficult. And as a man, you are supposed to be able to push yourself through those things. It is your responsibility to take accountability for yourself and your life and where you're going. You can't just sit around and wait for someone to give you the fucking answers. The opportunity is always in front of you to do something better for yourself. The opportunity is always there, but you have to fucking do it. And as a man, you're supposed to be able to be strong enough to take those actions necessary to better your own life. You're accountable for you. Definitely. And yeah, man the fuck up. Man up. I'm a huge fucking believer in that mindset, dude, of the mindset of manning up. You know, I've gotten into arguments with, you know, my mom. You know, she's a mom and she's a woman and she's always been the kind of person that is all about allowing you to make excuses for yourself and stuff. Right. And I get into arguments with her because I'm like, you know, especially over my son, because I'm like, no, he's growing up to be a fucking man. He needs to act like a man. Yeah. I'm a man. I need to act like a man. I understand you're a mom, but you can't, and it's your, you know, as a mom, you want to think that your kids and your grandkids can do no wrong. And you want to think that, well, if we fuck up, make some excuse for it. But as man, you know, and that's fine. She can continue to be the mom that she is. She's a great mom. I love the hell out of her. But from our perspective as a man, yeah, man up, dude. Do what's right for yourself. Yeah,
bro. They're always making up fucking excuses, dude, for it. His working excuses are the word. But that comes their motherly feminine energy. And that's why it takes two, a man and a woman, you know, to give them both sides of that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And, but I get what you're fucking saying, dude. Like, it just pisses me off, bro. It just had me fucking angry today at, you know,
I feel you, bro.
Fucking people whining, bro, about fucking, it just makes me sick, dude.
Yeah.
You know, it makes me fucking like, sick.
I'm really sorry that you know, he passed away.
Yeah, me too,
you
dude.
know, but I get what you're saying that like it didn't have to happen that way.
Yeah, it's not fucking, but again, dude, it's just, it's this trap that people get in. They just don't believe or don't have any knowledge that there can be any more.
Yeah.
Or that there is any more. It's a lie, bro.
Yeah.
It's a fucking lie, dude, you know? And it just fucking pisses me off, bro. And I'm not directly talking about him, but it's just because people don't take it fucking serious enough about their lives, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They don't take it seriously enough. You know what I mean? Like, they don't fucking because I used to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
putting a bunch of shit into my body, dude.
Yeah, me too.
And just food alone, dude. I'm telling you, the fucking carbs and the crap food, it kills me. There's this other fucking chick, and she's taking care of her mom. Her mom just had her leg amputated. Because whatever the high blood pressure, whatever, but it's from eating carbs and sugars.
Yeah.
And she's still over there fucking grubbing noodles. And so now your daughter has to stay home and fucking take care of you because you're so selfish and you're being so fucking weak. And you can't, and I hate to be like that, dude, and say those words, man, but it's weakness, dude. Yeah. And there's a lot of fucking weakness in this world, man. And fucking people need to start thinking of somebody else besides themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how it affects others and affects the world, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I know someone in my life, and I won't say who she is on camera, but she's closely related to someone that I'm close to. And she grew up with diabetes since she was 12.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, and when you eat carbs on diabetes, because carbs are sugar, that's what kills them. So yeah, this girl, she got diagnosed with diabetes when she was, I want to say, about 12 years old. And she's lived with her mom all her life. There was one point 15 years ago where she was actually, she had the disease, and she wasn't super healthy, but she was doing okay. She was able to work. She was, able to get up and move around, and she would go out and have fun and stuff. But now she's in her early 40s, and when you look at her, you would think she's in her 60s. Yeah. And, there was people there in her life that were encouraging her to do the right thing for herself, but you can only encourage someone so much. Yeah. So now she's in her 40s going to dialysis multiple times a week. She's about to lose her leg also. She's in horrible, horrible condition. And I remember because I lived with this family when I was younger for a little while. And I remember I was helping her because I was all into like nutritious eating and like, I was a big believer in like what we eat can, you eat the right foods. I'm a big believer that fruits and vegetables can cure disease. And I was, helping her, and I was making her meals. And I remember she would wake up every morning and her blood sugar would be in the like right over 400. And average, I believe, is 80 to 120. She would be over 400. The first day that I woke up and said, hey, I'm going to show you how to eat today. The first day, I made her 3 meals that day, 2 snacks. I was having her eat salad. I was having her drink smoothies. And everyone says you can't eat fruit with diabetes. Bullshit. Having her eat all these healthy foods. The next morning, after, months, even years of waking up with her blood sugar at 400, the next morning she woke up and her blood sugar was in the mid 200s. Went through another day, making her food, showing her how to eat. The next day she was like 170-ish, high 100. But again, went through another day. The next day she woke up and her blood sugar was low because of this. So like I was helping her see right there, and she saw with her own eyes that she could change it for herself. And I remember one day, and this only happened for a short period of time because she only followed what I was trying to do for her for a short period of time. One day I'm like, hey, I'm going to make you a really good salad, put some chicken in it, make you a good salad for dinner. And she had this boyfriend, and I made her this nice ass meal, salad and a smoothie, and giving her good foods. And her boyfriend, they speak Spanish. And I remember her boyfriend was like, do you really want to eat that? I'll go get you Carl's Jr. Yeah. And she let him go get her Carl's Jr. Yep. And next thing you know, she's back to how she was. Blood sugar's back up. And she just would not change, man. She would not change what she's doing. And I don't get it, because how can you not love your life enough to make those changes that you know are possible? Yeah. How, man? I know. That's where I'm at. That's where it pisses me off. And I'm like, how? How do people not give a fuck? And it's not a fucking joke, bro. Yeah.
It's not a fucking joke.
Yeah.
And some people look at me like I talk like, oh, why is it so serious? Or why is it want? It's not a fucking joke to me, dude.
People always use that saying, "Oh, well, you only live once." YOLO.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, exactly. That's the point. You only live once.
Yeah.
You only get one shot at this.
Yeah.
Do you want it to end that quickly?
Yeah. And if you don't think your life's worth it, who the fuck else is going to think your life is worth it?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
man, I feel you, bro. I totally understand that.
And I know we're fucking repetitive on this show, dude. But this is real shit, man.
Yeah. Well, and repetition is key, though, right? Like that's how you drill it into someone's brain. That's how you make yourself believe it.
Yeah.
You repeat the things that you need to tell yourself. You repeat the things that people need to hear, so that it drills into their brain, so that it drills into your own brain. Right. And so I think the repetition is good. Every time I've ever learned something in life, it's been because I've listened to it repeated over and over again.
Yeah.
Right. Anytime you learn a skill, it's because you practice that skill over and over again. Right. It's the same thing with how you structure your own life and your own happiness. You have to build fucking habits and stick with those habits. And you can build these habits that are gonna push you in a direction that's gonna take you to a place where you're gonna look back and say, why the fuck didn't I do things differently? Or you can build these habits that are gonna push you in a direction where you're gonna get to later years in life and you're gonna be like, damn, I didn't do too fucking bad. I know what direction I want to go in. I know I don't want to get to a place in life where I look back and I'm regretting every fucking choice that I made for myself.
Mm. And here's the thing, bro, is like, I feel fucking good.
Yeah.
I fucking love my life. And there could be disasters all around me, bro. Like I feel fucking good and I fucking love my life and I love being this way, dude. And I didn't used to, bro.
Yeah.
So it's hard to understand, even though you were there, of like how people can be that way, dude.
Well, yeah, because you took the actions that you needed to take.
And then that's another why I have no sympathy for those who don't. Because I broke out of fucking all that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying, dude? Like all that shit, as difficult as it was, I broke. So if I could fucking do it, dude, then anybody else can do it. Yeah. But I think it just starts with, as we talked about before, loving yourself, and you have to care about your life. Yeah. Your life has to have value. If you don't believe your life has value, you're not going to want to fucking change. Yeah. So I think I found that my life has value, and that's when I wanted to change.
Yeah. And the thing about that is, like, a lot of people want to say, oh, well, I don't have the money to have the resources to give my life value. Or like a lot of us want to think that, oh, well, it's just not possible because I don't have this to make this happen. But it's not about having anything to give that you need to give your life value. It's about that fucking mindset. And it's like, you have to build your mindset. No one can build your mindset for you, and you have to shift that mindset if you want to go from here to there.
But if you really want it, dude, like, you're going to look, bro, to have a place to sleep or food in our stomachs, we do anything, we figure it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if you really want it, like, you'll figure it out.
Right. And those are the most expensive things in our lives, right? Our cars, our homes, and even the poorest of us. I mean, yeah, there's people that are unfortunate or maybe they're not unfortunate and they just made bad decisions. They don't have these basic necessities. But a home, a car, those things aren't hard to get. But the majority of us somehow figure out a way to have them. So how can you not figure out the more simple things in life? Yeah. It's like, if we can wake up every day and, go fucking break our backs at work or whatever, do these things that are not easy things to do. I wake up a lot of the time and I'm like, fuck, I just want another hour of sleep, right? Like, it's hard to wake up and do the things you have to do to have basic necessities. These other things, like fucking shifting your mindset, those things don't take money. Those things don't take fucking, waking up and having to go, have to do physical work. It just takes sitting there and fucking shifting your mind. It takes taking control of your mind. It takes spending time with yourself. Meditation, you don't have to go out and work for meditation. You just got to sit there, you know? And so why is that so hard if you can obtain harder things to obtain in life? You know?
You just don't want it bad enough, dude.
Yeah.
You know? And it also comes with the small wins, and you start doing these small little things and you start seeing some small wins or some small benefits from it. That's what I think it is.
Yeah. But you have to acknowledge those small wins, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people can achieve small wins, but they won't acknowledge that it was a small win.
But they also don't even think their lives are fucked up. It's normal.
Well, that's true.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean by that.
So
yeah.
I think these things are abnormal, but other people don't. They look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Just society? Programming, like we're always talking about?
It's just programming. It's what you're so used to. Like people that do, like, they have a fucked up way of thinking about people and human beings and like relationship. It's just like a lot of people that I know, or women that I know, dude, and they think like that's normal. Like it's just, dude, bro, I don't know. I'm just on the other side, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on the other side because I used to think that stuff was normal too.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just programming, dude. It's just, that's it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Program. You have to reprogram your mind.
Yeah. I guess we've changed our habits to the point where it's like you said, it's hard to remember what it's like to be like that, where you're okay with settling, where you're okay with just, you know, conforming to the norms of society. Like, I think that's the biggest thing for me. Like, most people, you know, think that going home and spending, you know, going to work and going home and spending 4 hours watching TV, that's just normal, that's what people are meant to do. And I'm like, I can't fucking do that. Like, I don't get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at one time, I guess I did go home and spend hours watching TV each night. And I did that for a long time, but looking back at it, I can't remember what it's like to be that way because I've been changed for so long.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like, so when I was on that other side and I used to look at people like going for runs and like, you know, and stuff like that, I used to be like boring, like, you know, like why are they doing like, that's not fun. You know what I mean? And like, look at it too. And I was the same way, like, oh, I'll eat anything, you know what I mean? Or who cares what you're eating, or get whole milk and freaking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So I've been on the other side where how we are now was strange to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then now how other people are, it's strange to me.
Right. Right. It's kind of interesting too, because it didn't take much to completely shift over and now be on the complete other side where I just don't understand them.
Yeah.
I don't think it took that much to get there.
I think it's just an internal thing. Like I said, just one day I was just like, I don't want any of it.
Right.
You know? So I don't know. I don't know how it works, man, but it's just it's absolutely two different worlds.
Yeah.
It's two different worlds, dude, because I just don't relate with other people, man. I just don't fucking relate.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, I can relate to some things. There's a lot of like normal things about society that I like. I like going and sitting down at a restaurant and eating dinner. You know? I like going to a movie every now and then.
Yeah.
I like fucking going and I like going and fucking, you know, let's say play a game of bowling. I like going and chilling at the beach. So it's like you can have a balanced, structured, you know, positive spiritual life and like still enjoy all those things.
Yeah. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying, I just don't know, man.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to talk about it, but you want to talk about your opportunity to the show thing.
Oh yeah. It's through my my business networking meetings or whatever. These girls have a show. And they, it's on TV, it's on the radio. They got about 140,000 local listeners. And it's about business, dude. And I just go on there and go on there and talk about my business, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And And I'm a little, I mean, we haven't set a date or anything, but I'm a little nervous about it, bro, because, you know, it's not something I'm super passionate about, bro. You know?
Yeah.
And that's been a thing with me lately too, dude. It's like, I'm just not really passionate about it. You know what I
but
mean?
you're passionate about entrepreneurship.
I am passionate about entrepreneurship. Yes, I am. So that's a good point.
You can shift the conversation to that side of the passion, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Yeah.
I mean, and that's a cool opportunity, dude.
It is. It is.
It's a really cool opportunity. And like, you know, maybe some of the passion has drifted because things have just been going the same for so long. And like maybe being able to take on these sorts of opportunities, like this opportunity, will bring some of that passion back because it's something different. You know, it's something different that you're bringing into your life as a business owner.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, it might pump you up a little bit to be able to go and do something like this.
Absolutely.
You know,
that's a good point.
Yeah, it's a cool opportunity. 140,000 listeners.
Yeah.
That's sweet,
local
dude.
too.
That's sweet. And then you're like, you're a member of like the Chamber of Commerce or something like that, right?
Yeah, Chamber of Commerce. I go to all kinds of meetings, ribbon cuttings, new businesses.
Yeah.
And I love seeing, dude, I love seeing it. I love seeing the new businesses and like the stories they tell behind their businesses, you know, because at the ribbon cutting, they'll tell them, and they got some pretty good stories. I just went to one on Saturday, and this lady, her and her husband, they sell stuff online, shoes and stuff like that. And they've been doing that for like 7 years or whatever. And so she's never painted a day. They're like super Christians and, you know, good connection with God and whatnot. And so the way the story she tells it is, she's walking on the beach and having a conversation with God, and all of a sudden God told her to paint. And she's never painted a day in her life. This is 3 years ago. And so she starts to paint. And it's a different kind of painting. It's like it's just different. But I mean, she's like killing it. We're talking like $5,000 paintings and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's like killing it. And she opened a store downtown, dude. And she's like, and it's just super different. I don't know. I'm not a big arts person. You know what I mean? But she didn't even know how to paint. She never thought of painting or nothing. All of a sudden she was told to paint. Now she has this business. She's selling all these paintings, $5,000, $3,000. You know what I mean? So that's a cool story, you know?
Yeah.
You know, another business that opened, and this guy is talking about, and it was just a conversation he had with his friend. It's this like mailing business or whatever. So it's really good to be around those people and support them, you know, and to watch them, you know, to watch them grow. So I enjoy it, man. I enjoy going to these meetings and these networking, because it's just not just business, dude, because the way that you, in networking and how you get business from people is from them trusting you and building a relationship with them. So it's not really going out to get business. It's building relationships with people, you know, and people in the city, and them trusting you, you know? And, so it's a process. I mean, I enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's cool, dude.
I enjoy it. I enjoy, meeting these different types of people, man, and, hearing their stories.
And then you mentioned Toastmasters one time. Are you a part of Toastmasters? Yeah,
I go to Toastmasters too, which is like a speaking.
Yeah,
you know, it's a speaking group. It kind of teaches you public speaking and stuff like that. You know, which it's fun. You know, it's cool, dude.
Yeah. So there's this guy that I know, and it's funny because you told me about Toastmasters a while back, and I hadn't heard of it. I didn't know what it was. And then there's this guy that I know, and I rarely see him. He lives in another state when I was going out to South Carolina a lot. And so I see him when I'm out there, and he's wearing a Toastmasters jacket. And you had like just told me about it, and I'm like, Toastmasters? He's all, oh yeah, I used to be a part of Toastmasters. I'm like, what, really? And he was like telling me about how much he enjoyed it and going up and like giving cool speeches. You know, and he told me this one that he does, that he used to do a lot, where he would go on stage and he'd start it out and he would tell people, just, I want you to close your eyes and imagine that you need to go pick some fruit from the tree, and you just had a snow. You walk outside and you're walking in the snow. You hear your feet hitting the snow. You hear the snow crunching. And he gets real into it and he's like, and then you hear a noise from behind you. And you turn around and there's 4 wild wolves running at you. You hear them getting louder. You start running. You're running. You're running as fast as you can. You've never run this fast ever. You turn around. You keep looking. They're getting closer. They're gaining on you. You can't get away fast enough. You're running. You're running. You can see the shed that you can, if you can get there, you can reach safety, and you're running and you're trying to get away from them. You turn around and they're getting closer. All of a sudden they tackle you to the ground. You're on the ground. They're biting at you. You're bleeding. You're scared for your life. You've never been in a situation like this in your life, and they're just attacking you. That's what happened to me when I was 5 years old. I was going out to our playhouse, walking in the snow. I hear a noise behind me. I turn around. 5 little puppies are rushing me. And it was like just so cool.
Wow, no, I was engaged right now, dude, when you're saying it, bro.
It was so cool the way like he took this crazy, like terrifying story, and he's like, yeah, when I was 5, a pack of wild puppies came running at me, and I fell on the ground and they started licking my face. And he had never experienced something like that at that age. So he's all scared of these puppies, but the way that he was able to, take something like that happened to him and turn it into this engaging story.
Yeah.
And just the way I didn't do it nearly as good as him, but the way that he would speak it in that way. I admire people that can get on a stage and speak like that.
Yeah, and it teaches you all that stuff. Like what you're saying, like I was super engaged when you were saying that right now. I was like, I was super engaged. So that's what it teaches you about people being engaged and whatnot. It's pretty good. Everybody knows about it, but nobody goes to it.
Right. I want to get involved, dude. I wouldn't mind getting involved with it. In my professional life, because I've never been like a super great talker. I stutter over my words sometimes, and like I'm kind of an analytical thinker, so I'm always thinking out what I'm gonna say before I say it. So I'll have long pauses when I'm talking and things like that because I'm thinking. And like, I know when we started this podcast, I have to go to meetings and things like that, and be around lots of different people in my professional life a lot. And when we started this podcast, instantly my speaking when I'm at meetings and having to present things like that got better.
Yeah.
And like I noticed it myself, and people around me, noticed it and have said things about it. And so like I want, and then I also took this course on leadership, because I wouldn't mind being a leader of a company at some point too. It's one of my goals to eventually be able to start my own brand, start my own company, have employees, things like that. And so I took this course just for my own personal development, all about leadership and stuff. And it was right around the same time that I saw this guy who I was just talking about. And in that course, one of the modules of the course was about public speaking, and he played all kinds of videos from people speaking at Toastmasters events.
Yeah.
And I guess they do this like breakfast thing where you go and like it's like Toastmaster, I don't know what they call it, but like they do breakfast or something. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I'm going to one tomorrow morning.
Okay,
it's I got to get up in front of like 200 people,
right?
And talk about my business.
That's cool, dude. That's cool. I wouldn't mind getting involved with something like that. I'd like to be a better speaker.
Yeah,
I think it's so important in life, dude, to be able to communicate.
Oh yeah, dude. Communication is fucking everything, man.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Most things go wrong because of people's lack of communication.
Yep. Relationships, business.
Yeah, because
person. It's true, man. Because it's easy to correlate in your mind what you're trying to what was something that you need to speak about, and then getting up there and doing it is a whole nother thing.
Dude,
right?
you know how shit sounds real good in your head?
Yep, exactly.
I can go in my head, dude, and do a whole freaking speed, and it sounds amazing, but then it comes out like, what is that, dude?
Yeah,
you know what
bro.
I mean?
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
I don't know why, but it sounds real good in my head, dude.
Yep, I totally get it. And even in like relationships, especially because like especially as a man, you know, and you know, I'm not hating here, but men and women are mentally and biologically different. Men are more about what's said. Women are more about how it's said.
Mm-hmm.
And so like as a man, you know, being able to say something the right way is very important. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You
dude.
know, so I want to take on more opportunities to be a better speaker, better communicator. You know, it's definitely learning some of the things I learned in that course have helped my personal relationships as far as like understanding how other people communicate and then understanding how to communicate myself. So anyways, yeah bro.
It's a difficult world out there, dude.
Yeah, true fucking that.
You know?
True that. Yeah, man. So what else is new, bro?
Just nothing.
I have no topics for this podcast, so I'm just winging it.
Let's watch a video, bro.
All right.
Hold on. I don't know. I want to watch it, but I don't want to talk about this again because we've talked about this.
What is it?
I'll play it, bro.
Dude, we might as well talk about it again. People need to. Okay, so
I know, but it's a thing that we've been talking about that like, is it that way or is it that way? But we're just gonna play it anyways, dude.
All right, fuck it.
Sad. I cry sometimes when I miss people. It's okay to miss people, but we ain't never going backwards. You can take that same energy and take it to the gym and make yourself better. Because what's for you, if it's meant for you, it's not gonna miss you. So the right thing gonna come.
Yeah.
It's en route right now.
Dude, facts, bro. I don't mind talking about this over and over again because like I think everyone needs to hear it. Like, you know, I like what I like that he said right there is you can take that same energy and take it to the gym. Right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the part where he's like, if it's meant for you, you know, you're going to have it. If it's not meant for you, it's going to leave you.
Right.
But, you know, there's other people in manifestation or whatnot. They say that's not true.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like if it's meant for you, I mean, I believe that, bro.
I do too. I mean, why specifically like people into manifestation, some would say it's not true.
What they're saying is if you want something, you can have it. And that's it. If you want that thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's
I got you.
So whether it's meant for you or whether it's not. But I do believe that, bro. I do believe that, dude. Well, it's gotten me through some things when things that seem like they're working.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if it's meant for me, then it's meant for me. You know what I mean?
I mean, I believe it too. And like, yeah, I get the whole like, yeah, if you want it, you can have it. Like, I get that mindset, but it also goes back to another thing we're always talking about, which is balance, right? Like, we have to understand, like, yes, it's good to believe that you can manifest things into your life. And it's good to believe that if you want something, you can have it because that keeps you in the mindset of going out and getting it, right? But like, you have to balance that with like understanding that, like, you know, sometimes you may want something and you're unable to manifest that thing into your life because it's not meant for you. Like, I believe that, you know, even with manifestation, like, I believe that if something's not meant for you, you're probably not going to go after it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not even consciously thinking about it. Like, I believe that if something's not meant for you, you're probably you're not going to go after it. Right. I guess what he's saying is there's something you think is meant for you and it's not. But, I don't know, man. I believe, I'm a big believer in, you know, you're always right where you need to be, and what you have, you're meant to have, and what you don't have, you're not meant to have.
Yeah. And so that's also me. Like, I believe, you know, because there's things and opportunities, bro, that are there and they're there and then they go away. And I do believe that I am divinely guided and protected.
Yeah.
And that everything that is happening to me is happening for my greatest good and for that thing that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Exactly.
So I do believe in that. And I think just believing and not questioning that,
right,
is the way you get there, dude. But
I agree. And I believe in God too. And I believe, from that standpoint, that if something's not meant for me, God isn't going to allow me to have it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And like, I believe that I'm protected. I believe that, sometimes I might want something and I think that I want it and I think that it's good for me, but it's not. And I don't realize it. So God's not going to allow me to have that thing because he knows it's not good for me.
yeah,
And so, yeah, man, I'm all about manifestation. And like, a lot of like people would look at me like, oh, well, you say you say you believe in God and you have a relationship with God. Well, how can you manifest things too? Like people think that those things don't correlate with each other. Like for me, I think that my manifestations come through God.
yeah. Of course it correlates. It's in the Bible that it correlates.
Yeah. And in my religion, Islam, meditation is actually encouraged. So like the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, like with the Sunnah, which is like the story of his life, talks about how before praying, he would meditate, right? Clear his mind before he went to God in prayer so that he could solely focus his attention on that prayer. And, and so I think that all these spiritual things that I'm doing, when I talk about manifestation, when I talk about meditation, like I think that all of those things, I guess going back to manifestation specifically, I think that I manifest those things through my belief in God and through my relationship with God. And I believe that those things come to me, not just because I believed I could have it, but because God says, yeah, it's right for you to have this. Right.
Right.
And so I guess that's why I'm kind of with you on believing that if something's not meant for you, then it's not meant for you.
So who is Muhammad? Is he a human being?
So the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the last prophet. So,
but he was a human.
He was a human,
and he's dead now.
And he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, you have all the prophets, right? You have Adam was the first prophet. Then you have Moses. You have Noah. You have David. You have all the prophets. And peace be upon all of them. And then in my religion, even Jesus is a prophet of God. So these are all messengers of God, right? And so Muhammad is another prophet like the rest of them.
But that's in your, like, that's their only prophet in your religion, right?
No, our prophet is all the prophets of the Torah, of the Bible. We believe in all the same prophets.
But those are prophets,
Judaism.
but you guys pray to God.
We pray to God. You cannot pray to a prophet. You can't pray to a human.
Right, okay.
So Islam is like really the only religion that's monotheistic,
that says
where
God only.
God
it's a direct
only, right?
With
Because
God,
in Christianity you have the Trinity. So like in Christianity you have three entities that equal God, right? You have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? And so like in Christianity they say Jesus is God. We don't believe that.
Right.
And we don't believe he's the Son of God, and we don't believe God has children because God isn't one of us.
Right.
Right. And so
God isn't one of us?
Yeah. God isn't human. Uh-huh. God is a completely different entity from a human. Right. And so we believe in all the same prophets. We believe in all the same angels. The angel Gabriel is kind of who we say is the Holy Spirit. The angel Gabriel is the angel that came to the prophets and revealed their messages from God. So we have to believe in the Torah, which is the book of the Jews. But we believe in the Torah as it was originally written. We believe that the Torah has been corrupted over time. Same with the Bible. We believe in the Bible, but the original Bible, the original gospel of Jesus is called the Injil. And that's not the Bible we have today. We believe the Bible we have today has been corrupted over time. They've chosen what books they want in it and not put books that they don't want in it. And then so we believe in the Torah, the Bible, and then the Quran. And the Quran is the last compilation of the Word of God. And Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the last prophet who the Quran was revealed to. The interesting thing about the Quran is, so all of these books, the Torah, the Injil, the Quran, they were all originally verbally revealed, right? And with the Quran, it was originally recited verbally. It was originally verbally revealed, and it was years after the companions of the Prophet Muhammad began writing the Quran, right? So originally it was memorized. So Muslims today, not all of us, me definitely not, but Muslims today, they memorize the entire Quran from front to back. They can recite it. And so to us, the only real Quran is written in the Arabic language.
Ooh, bro, I just thought of something.
What?
Sorry to cut you off.
What?
You didn't do your 30 days. They just had their 30.
Ramadan?
Yeah, you didn't do your Ramadan, bro.
I did. So I did. I just messed up quite a bit through it.
Yeah, so it's from, and I like that when they have that, and I've talked to people that are also the same religion, bro, and they do that, and it's from sun up to sundown. There's no food, no water, and no sex. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. So I was successful. So yeah. So Muslims, you can hate on me for being weak, but I was successful for about 20 of those days.
Pretty good.
And last year I was a lot worse. Last year I even, like 3 days before Ramadan ended, like I just gave up. I drank alcohol. I did all these horrible things.
Yeah.
So I made an effort, bro. This was my second Ramadan. I still was not the best at being a Muslim and succeeded the entire time.
Yeah.
But
and that's okay.
You know, when you're I did eat while I was in Alabama a couple of those days. Mainly because I got sick, and then when I wasn't sick anymore, like I was like, man, I need to eat. So I ate a few of those days while I was in Alabama. I'm gonna make those days of fasting up. Yeah. And there was some other days where I ate, or at least had water when I shouldn't have. But I did make an effort. Again, I'm not very good at being a Muslim. I just fully believe in it. I believe that it is a true. I believe that it is the truth, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You know, so yeah, I did mess up. But.
And then Buddha was a human too, right?
So Buddha was a human. Buddhism isn't so much of a religion, if you ask me, as much as it is a philosophy. Mm-hmm. So Buddha's not really like a god to Buddhists. Buddha is the man who, you know, created the message and communicated the message of Buddhism, right? But I don't believe he's looked at as a god in any way. He's just looked at as like the all-knowing who developed this belief in Buddhism. So Buddhism's really interesting to me. I've always wanted to kind of visit a Buddhist temple just because I'm interested in it. There's like I'm not sure what nationality it is, but here where we live, there's like a Buddhist temple. I was like so tempted to go like to their Tai Chi classes or something over there, but I'm always like, I'm so introverted. I'm always nervous to like walk into something like that on my own. Like it's, you know, and the fact that I did it going to the mosque, like I took myself in there by myself, had no one else like that was exploring this religion with me. Like something just called me to go to the mosque. Mm-hmm. And like I put all of my fears of meeting new people aside and like went to that mosque that day. And like, you know, I never would have done that. So that's another reason like I feel like like Islam was my calling.
Right,
like
right.
I
You
was
got called
called
to
to
it, yeah.
Islam. Like, you know, everything I had to do to learn that religion and gain my belief in that religion is things I never would have done. I stepped out of my comfort zone to get to the point where I would walk into the mosque and go meet these people and learn to pray and stuff. But yeah, Buddhism, it's a very interesting philosophy to me. I'm somewhat interested in learning more about it. Yeah, I don't know a ton about it, but I know a little.
Yeah, I'm still at a point. I don't know. I like hearing about these other religions, you know, and I
Mhm.
talk to other people that are Muslim, you know, and I hear about it. And, you know, I go to church and I visited the Buddhist temple. So I go, I'm not saying like, I don't know. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
You know, I want to get a book on, I was just telling my son on the Greek gods, on Thor and them.
Yeah.
And like, I know that's like a made up story too, or whatnot, you know, but I'm just interested in like where these, and that's why I simplify things. Like, you know, I have a relationship with God. God is everything. God is everyone. He's like God being energy is the most sense to me.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I believe that, you know, I believe in the story of Jesus, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that everything they said is right. You know what I mean? But that's like the oldest book and the most sold book. And that's like the most thing that never died. You know what I mean? Like it, and this is what I love. I heard in church on Sunday, and this is kind of what I was warming up to, asking these questions, is that this pastor dude, he's so cool. Pastor Jude, man, he's just fucking cool, dude. I like this dude. And he goes, you know, JFK is in the grave. Buddha's in the grave. Muhammad is here. The only one who's not is Jesus Christ, who's still alive because Jesus risen from the dead. You know what I mean? And I get pumped by it, and I kind of hear the truth from it. And I just like all these things, bro. And I wouldn't say that I have any belief in any of it, but I'm still in a searching period of these things. And I'm still directed towards meditation.
Right.
And I believe in, you know, they have the Christianity and the Bible and the word of the Bible, right? And like, that's what their meditation is like reading the word. And I don't relate to that as much. I relate more to quieting my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I also get what they're saying about Eastern meditation, because I'm not saying any of them is wrong.
Yeah.
Because I see God in everything. Yeah. You know, in the Buddhism, in every religion, I can see God in freaking everybody's stuff, right? Because God is love. And as long as there's love, it's God. Yeah. And that's my belief. Right. You know what I mean? God is in conversations that we have. God is, you know, in all kinds of places, man. But so where they talk crap about Eastern meditation or Eastern religions is what, you know, the Christianities call it. I think that all it is getting more in contact with the spirit realm, and there's dangerous things in there, you know, and it's a dangerous, I think it's just a different path. You know, I just feel like Christianity is more of a, it's more of a 3D thing. Yeah. You know, it's more 3D, and Eastern meditation is, I believe in, you know, connecting to those other realms. And I believe in, you know, in having different powers, you know, right. And I believe in those things, dude. And like, I've witnessed those things, you know what I mean? So I know that they're true, you know? So I just feel like Christianity is more of a 3D thing. And I also believe that it's all a fucking metaphor, dude. Yeah. You be a good human being and do good things. Mm-hmm. And that is God. I feel like I don't need all the words or the stories or whatnot. You know, if I'm honest with myself, and God is my conscience, and if I'm honest with like, think about it, bro. Like, you know, when you got to go ask somebody's opinion for something on a situation, you just need confirmation. Yeah. You already have the answers yourself. Yeah. You're just, you defining whether to ignore what is right or what is wrong. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my take on that, but I'm still in a searching. I'm still curious about, like I said, the Greek mythology or whatnot. I'm just curious. It's just interesting to me of where they came from, these things. It's not that I believe them, you know, or that I think anybody's wrong. Yeah. You know, I think everybody's right.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think everybody's right. I think it's all the same fucking thing. It is all just a metaphor.
Yeah,
That's it.
I could see that as being, you know, a logical way to think. Definitely, I believe that. Definitely, I agree with you. I believe that, you know, energy is a big part of not even spiritual. I believe that energy is a big part of being able to have that connection with a higher power. Is like, it's the energy coming to you that you're feeling when you feel that connection, right? As far as like religion specifically, one of the reasons that, so like I believe fully that Jesus, peace be upon him, I believe in, I believe he was here, a human walking on earth, and I believe a lot of what the Bible says about him as far as him as a person. One of the reasons I don't believe in Jesus in the Christian sense is because I don't believe that God needs to sacrifice a human being for us to be forgiven by God.
Yeah, I don't believe in that either. I don't believe in the whole that doesn't make sense to me either, dude.
Yeah.
And the whole that Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins. God sacrificed his only son, but also Jesus Christ, okay, with the story told, went on that cross, but he knew about the outer realm. Right? So like if I knew about heaven, right, and I knew it was there, I wouldn't be so bothered about being hung on a cross. But like I said, it's all still a metaphor, right, of him continuing to preach in God and what he believed in, no matter what the cost was or what the pain was. There's just so many metaphors for it. There's so many metaphors for it, dude.
Right.
You know, there's so many lessons out of it, you know? So yeah, I don't know about the whole dying on the cross for your sins, because I also don't believe in that God kills.
Right.
You know, like Christians say he's a just God also.
Right.
And that he punishes.
Right.
You know, I don't believe that he punishes, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, I don't believe that, like, if I do something wrong, he's going to make something here happen in this life as like revenge or punishment. Right. Like, I don't believe in it like that. I do believe in the kingdom of heaven. I do believe that, you know, I do believe that God decides who he's going to allow to be within heaven, right? Because like,
you can't do a bunch of bad shit and rape people and kill people and then go spend eternity in bliss.
Exactly. Like,
it couldn't be right.
Right.
A loving God couldn't do that.
Right. Well, yeah. So yes, but I also like, if someone, so like I'm trying to do all these things in my life, right? And when someone completely doesn't believe in me, that's not what I want around me, right? Like, so like if I'm trying to do something good with my life and you're saying, nah, you're full of shit, you're never going to succeed at that, I'm not going to surround myself with your energy, right? You don't want to bring people around you that are, you know, fighting against what you're trying to achieve for yourself, right? And so like, I do believe that like, okay, well, if you're going to be someone on earth who is going to not even not believe, but completely defy, like you have people out there that are like anti-God, anti-religious, right? And like speak against God, right? Like, I don't think that God's going to bless those people with being able to enter the kingdom of heaven when they die, right? Because it's like, you spent your entire life completely throwing blasphemy on my name. You know, why now
Well,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I get what you're saying, but I believe in the karmic cycles, and I believe that hell is a state of mind.
Yeah, you've mentioned that. Yeah.
That heaven is a state of mind, but I also believe being up there, like, yes, heaven's a state of mind here, but I also believe that your punishment is you have to keep coming back to earth, because earth is like, I believe in that earth is like a school. And I believe that if you don't learn your lesson, you have to come back and do it again. And you have to keep coming back and doing it again. I believe in that. That makes sense to me.
That's an interesting thought, and you mentioned that before, and it's interesting to think about, because that does make sense. I mean, you know, obviously that's not my belief, but if I'm looking at it from an outside perspective, putting my beliefs aside, like, there's some logic in that, right? Because, like, in a spiritual sense, like, we're all energy, right? So there's like this non-physical part of ourselves. When we think about ourselves, we always think about ourselves as this like physical being, but that's not really what we are, right?
Yeah,
and like the law of attraction talks about it, like there's a non-physical part of ourselves, and that's who we actually are, right?
Yeah.
Our body is more of a vessel.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, that non-physical part of yourself is here on this earth, in this realm, using this body as a vessel. But when this vessel is done and that non-physical part of yourself doesn't die, it goes back to the realm it came from, right? So I could see, like, okay, well, you know, on earth, when your non-physical self went to earth last time, you did not live the way you were supposed to, or you didn't accomplish the things that you were supposed to, or, you know, you just didn't achieve the things you were supposed to on earth. So, okay, go get another vessel and go back. So I could see, like, the logic in karmic cycles. Like, I could totally see that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's an interesting way to think about things. And, like, dude, I have full faith in what I believe, and I believe that what I believe is the truth. But in all reality, like, no one knows.
Yeah.
Right. It's all about having faith in what you believe. Right. So it's like,
but that's
it's interesting to think about all the possibilities.
I'm just saying, like, that's the thing. I'm not saying I know, because I don't know, but I'm saying, like I said, I pay attention to all these other beliefs or whatnot. And, like, that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Right.
Like, at this point in my life. And I also believe, like, this is my last time in this life because of the spiritual awakening I'm going through. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is and so here's the thing, bro, is why I don't just follow one way. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a spiritual awakening and there's people online that I follow and their belief systems, but I also go to church, but I also talk to people about the Quran, and this is why I do. And because I am open-minded to all these different aspects, I am able to come up with a clear decision of my own of what I believe in. Right. But now if I just followed spiritual people and their beliefs or whatnot, you know what I mean? So now I know I'm not being influenced by one thing. Right. Because I see good in all, and because I'm open to listening to all, right? Yeah. And so where I'm at on my path in this part of my life, this is the thing that makes most sense to me. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I totally get it. Yeah. And I mean, you know, it's so important to be able to, like, to think for yourself like that too, man. Like I'm the same way. I have my beliefs, but I'm always interested in hearing about other people's, right? Yeah. Like, I'm not, you know, there's a lot of closed-minded religious people that are like, I'm right, you're wrong, and I'm going to hate on you for it. Now, if you want to hear my beliefs, am I willing to sit down and tell you about my beliefs and teach you what I know about what I believe? Absolutely. But I'm also willing to hear what you believe without having judgment and telling you, no, you need to believe what I believe.
Right. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm right. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I know, you know, who knows? I might fucking, you know, end up, you know, being a preacher one day, bro. Right. You know what I mean? But I'm figuring it out. You know what I mean? I'm figuring it out where it goes. So
yeah, for sure.
That's where we're at, bro.
For sure, man. For sure. Yeah, I totally get it. Fucking looking at the 4 agreements on the table. That's such a good book, dude. That book changed my life. That book was the start of my journey to finding myself and understanding myself and loving myself. It's such a good book, man. I recommend to everyone read that book, The Four Agreements. Check it out. I think you can even find it on YouTube if you just want to listen to it for free. We fucking love you guys.
Yeah.
We've been getting a lot of traction, you know, and just hearing from people, and people are starting to comment more here and there. And you know, as we grow, you know, it's an extremely good feeling to have people liking the videos and commenting, and you know, we're always open to discussions, whether you agree or disagree with us. I say it all the time. I'll say it again. But we love you guys, man. We appreciate it. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit us up on Instagram. Hit us up on TikTok. Much love to all y'all. Peace.
Later.